Hello, you guys. Trick here again, and I've got one more lesson to go along with those those other lessons that we have when it comes down to learning what it's like to what the Bible is like. Okay, and you may or may not have been noticing, but I've been trying to include Buddhism, Hinduism as well. All right, because they're all the same. We're all in this together. Look how nasty my oh, ow. It really took a notch out of me. Listen, it hurts. Oh, it did. So, anyways, um, I've been sharing with you the inner workings of my mind and how I perceive what these things are doing. But it's working off of how the Bible describes these things. And I'm not the first person to come up with these things. Okay. Throughout time, we've been left with the most coolest bits of information. But what I find is that something's upside down, something's been flipped around, something has been taken away, something has been shifted. I can see that. And it's pretty cool. But anyways, this is when you're finding books and they got all these stuff in there. It's all these mixed up things. And all these ideas of the Illuminati, and because what I'm showing you is called The Secrets, and it's the spiritual side of the Bible. And it's a secret. Not very many people know it, but when you put it all together, there's a mess of people that have done this and brought it to life in some kind of way. So I can't really say we're the only ones, but I'm not getting it from any place else right now. Not the way I'm handling it out to, but it's a simple approach. There's no reason that a child could not follow this. There's no reason that, once you got involved with this, you thought, oh, yeah, I can get that. I understand that. It's like a big game, big puzzle. And so here's the last piece of those puzzles. Can you see this? Are you able to see this? Are things in the way? Do I need light? Can you see that? God damn it. I'm not so sure you can. This fell down a minute ago, and I erased like the whole piece of this trying to hold it up. Shit fire. Okay, well, anyways. I'm sorry about that glare in the middle of all of this. I'm not sure how to get rid of that. But so this is a 24-hour clock, all right? It's circular. It's split down the middle, half, stuff like that, like a bullseye. We have spring and summer, and we have fall and winter. So those are the four different places. In the middle of those are, in our things, it's the worlds here. Those four worlds that are taken out, the north, east, south, and west. Well, those actually show up in here, right? This Scorpio, which is you got a face like an eagle. All right. Over here we got a face like an ox, and we got a face like a lion, and we got a face like a man down over here with Aquarius. Those are the four corners. Those are, for you guys that are flat earthers, there's your flat earth right there. That's your four corners. Okay, so boy, we just solved one problem after another here, aren't we? But anyhow, daytime, nighttime. So we start off in the morning at 6, 7, 8. So each one of these gets 2 hours. We get to high noon at the top here. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This Libra. Did you know that Libra looks like the sunset? It goes like this. Libra looks like this. I think it goes. There's a line, and I think it goes like this. You know, something like that. That's a sunset. All right, it's kind of cool. And if my dyslexia holds up, that's upside down. All right. So, anyways, don't hold that against me. All right, but it's close. We get April, May, June, July, August, September. We get October, November, December, midnight, January. Now, in a lot of our Bible stories and all of these stories, midnight is about where everything starts to happen. Or this part of our world right here, this is where Jesus dies. This is where Jesus is born. They're in the same place because the way the story goes is that you die first and then you're reborn. That's the resurrection. All right. So it has to be in one place. That's the solstice, the winter solstice, where the sun in the sky itself has to sit down because every degree that goes on during the year, it moves 1 degree. And as this goes up here, it gets to the summer solstice and it has to sit for 3 days. And then it starts its way back down again. All right. And so what you get is shorter days coming down. But when it comes down here into the winter solstice, it sits there for 3 days and 3 nights. It looks like it's sitting still, but it's on its way back to the right side, you know, to come up here eventually and give us some spring. Bring us the Lamb of God who takes away the sins of the earth. This is sin. This is what they used to call sin down here. This is winter, death. All right. Very interesting. Life, green, flush down here, red, death, darkness. All right. It's kind of cool. All right. What do we get out of here? The eight prongs on the Buddhist wheels are called out at this winter and summer solstices. We are also on the equinoxes as well. And we also have the other guys that are coming to life here, which are the solid signs of the zodiac. Now, in Hinduism, this is Brahma, the guy that has those foreheads. This is him. This is him, the maker of the universe. Our universe, the world, the universe. This is it. All right. And do you know that this is our mind? That's the other cool part about this. All right. Let's see. What else can we dig out of this? The hottest time of the day is 3 o'clock. That's Leo. When we are birthed from when we start this whole process of ours, when it comes down to it, it's on this wheel how you work. We have to be born of a virgin mind. And that's over here in Virgo, right here. All right, that's the beginning. And the sun is being birthed out of Virgo. So you think about the sun in the sky, sun worshiping, but it's really you. You're the one that's sitting down doing this, not the sun in the sky. You're looking the wrong way. But sure, it's talking about the way. All right. So the first stop is Libra, right here at this balancing point. And you have to balance between the two. Actually, you're reintroducing one of them, so you balance between the right and left side. This is the cross that you're bearing. All right. And this part of the cross, this is where your shoulders. This is between what's above and what's below. Okay, so the next thing you know, you're backbitten by Scorpio, and backbitten means it was bit, and it leaves a little kiss of death. That's what it's about. But a long time ago, this was an eagle. This was the eagle, all right? And so there's always the face of the eagle in this particular spot for the monster. All right. And remember, these are the beasts. This is the world. This is still representing where 4 comes in. All right. Jesus is then delivered, and he is killed between the Sagittarius and Capricorn. This right down in here where I have the word midnight is a constellation called the Crux. It's called the Southern Cross. So this is where Jesus hangs on this cross for 3 days, 3 nights, before he starts his way back up again. But that's where he dies. All right. But what the church bells forget about is, I guess it's just too much going on in one day. But when he is resurrected, that is the birth of Jesus. This is the birth of the sun in the sky. It's the rebirth, the renewal. Right there. Boing. Right there. As it begins, the days are lengthening. This is Lent. All those days in there is Lent, the Lenting. All right. So, when we have Jesus being born in this spot, when he is born, then he's in the manger. He's in the manger, and he's in there with the animals. You know, that's the whole idea between the horse and these goats and all this stuff down in here. So 30 days or 30 years later, do we hear what has happened to him? This is when he appears on the scene out of nowhere. Well, it's only 30 degrees from this point to where you get over here, where you run into Aquarius. This is the water god, Ea, which translates to the name John. John, the water god. Here we go, right here. So he gets baptized. This is the trip of our soul. We died right here. We died. We commit ourselves to death back here. We put ourselves down up here. And we're making our way down. Oh, we're dead now. We're dark. We just slipped into the water scene and out of our body. And now we're going on, and we're being checked out here. They're fishing us out of the water in Pisces. When Jesus is going and finding his men in the Bible, this is the time when he's going and fishing of men. I'll make you fishers of men. Then he goes up here into April. He becomes the Lamb of God. He takes away the sin of the earth, the world. Then we get into Taurus. Taurus is the next one. We slay the bull for the Lord. This is, we're going under, man. This is it. Plus, this is 6. This is early in the morning. So we have been, this is early in the morning. This is when you're Lucifer in the morning. This is the 5 rising. This is before. This is a Venus coming up before the early morning. That's right here. Right here. You are this devil. You are this 5-pointed star that's going up to be cleaned. That's what you're. Remember, you didn't come up there a pretty boy. You came up there the demon himself, motherfuckers. That's what it is. I ain't gonna sugarcoat that. All right, but anyways. So this is where the body is slain. Remember, this is 2. I guess you could say that these might be your 2 witnesses. All right. So next thing you know, you're in Gemini. Gemini is we got to call the brethrens together. This is the 6th chakra. We're getting close because you got to bring everyone together. Let's bring them all. This is in the spots where they said, we're going to divide the upper waters from the lower waters. And we're going to gather all the lower water together and let the dry land appear. All right. That's the lower side of us. All right. So the crab up here, he goes left and right. He's on the top. He's up there saying, uh-oh. I can see my time's coming. My days are getting shorter. That's where he is. It's up here. The days are getting shorter once you get on this side. Once you get down that side of the crab, it's like, my demise is coming up pretty soon. And he's talking about this going on to everybody like this. And this is, the wrath is getting ready to happen. You're being delivered. You're being delivered right now over to this Leo business. The final this is the final part that you're going to is Leo. This is where you're exhausted. This is exhausted when you're exalted. And this is the hottest time of the day. This is 3 o'clock in the afternoon, the hottest day. From that point on, it's all downhill. This is where you want to go. This is the heart of our soul. This is the heart of it all. And you have to live with your whole mind and your whole heart. And so this is what's going to deliver you from this particular point. Leo, we started off with Virgo. We ended up with Leo. And if you've heard any of my stories, is that you're supposed to consume the beast and become the beast's head, lest you let the beast consume you and you become its ass. So here we have this trip of the higher conscious being written to you and shown to you from up above, representing all the religions on earth, what to happen, from the Tao to Buddhism and through Judaism and through Christendom, all right? All of these have it. The only persons that don't have it right now is the Islamic faith, who is missing the mother and the child. And without either of these two pieces, there's no salvation in that religion, and it's a fake religion. Okay, or it's just man-made. All of this stuff is made by someone else. All of these have shown up at different times in the world. At least that's what we're told, that different eons put out a different God. But that God had the same stuff underneath his stuff as this one did. And then later on, another God would show up. And then, the latest of them were supposed to be like Christianity. This is the code. It's the same code as it's in Buddhism. And one of the oldest faiths on earth is Hinduism. Code, code, code. It's all in there. It's all in there. So it's just too beautiful. Islam, someone's gone in there and screwed it all up. I'm sure that there was text in there. I'm sure that there's redemption in there. I'm sure that somebody got in there and fucked it all up. That's the way it is. If it does not say this, then it's not one of the world's religions. Do you understand? It just doesn't fit in to the spiritual science behind any of it. All right? That's what I'm trying to get at. I'm not trying to single them out, but showing you that this code runs between everything. And if the code's not in there, then it's suspect. Very much so. It means I don't believe it. It's not part of the teachings, or I would be talking about it. So anyways, we just made it all the way over here. We learned about the Sphinx, We start off with this idea that we are learning control of ourself, and we are giving back the reins to ourselves. The idea of the lion, when you see some people like Gilgamesh and he's got the lion underneath his left arm, he's a giant now, he's a big guy. It means he's made it over to the other side and he's conquered the lion. He is the lion. His lion is little and small, and he picks it up. He can just pick it up and move it around. He's not afraid of it. So anyways, what else is there on here? What do I have? There is a color code. We have white is death down here. All right, this is where death happens. Red, here's the fall. This is, the colors of fall and the diminished light. It's where things start to die. This is where people do their harvesting. It's right in here. So this is where you're being pulled out. This is Scorpio. Remember, God is a husbandman and Jesus is a vine. That's how they would do this. And a husbandman is someone who tills the field. He is the same kind of relationship with the earth that Adam has. Not Adam. Adam was the guy who's a tiller of the earth. He also named all the animals. So he's really left-minded man. All right. And let's see here. It was Cain. Cain is the one that tills the field. Abel is the one that manages the sheep that live on top of all that. All right. I'm going to tell you guys different stories. And one of my next thing, I'm going to go over those worlds again. Remember, this is the world. It's here, but this here is a smaller version of that. We've talked about it a lot of times. I'm going to go through some fairy tale stories, and I'm also going to go through the book of Revelations. We're going to try to go through it really fast, the key points where it comes down to these four, so you can see the different ways that the earth is being used in these stories. Even Ezekiel, when Ezekiel's wheels and all of those things start turning, And the everyone looks at this as the UFO in there that he's been taken off. Well, no, he's totally he was like he'd be like you and me. He would be like we were given God's word to come down and talk about it, and he's talking about I'm the only one left here. No one's listening. No one wants to be a part of this. I think God said, "Well, come up with me. I'll take you away." Well, he's a prophet in this book, and so he winds up being connected. He's the one telling you there's not a lot of people in this Bible that are connected. It's not all those people that are brought out of Egypt in those stories. Those thousands and thousands of people that made it underneath the water tunnel and stuff like that and free. No, just Moses, Aaron, and his wife. That's it. Nobody else. Nobody else. The whole rest of the bunch, to hell with them. That's the way it is. Like Noah. Oh, no, not anybody else on earth. Nobody. Just Noah and his wife and his close family. Those that were in the family. No foreigners, So anyhow, I want to do this story where it comes down to, I'm going to show you how you have to believe that these fairy tales are part of this, no matter how much you want to make fun of it, Little Red Riding Hood. Did I do that already? Are you a part of this? Maybe I did. Little Red Riding Hood is trying to get from over here to over there. Did I do that? Did I do that with you guys? Mother becomes the earth. The old woman becomes the earth itself. This becomes darkness. The wolf that swallows the woman whole. She swallows all the earth. So it's winter, darkness. It's the same path in the sky. It's the lower side. It's from sunset to sunrise over on this side. And so, when she starts her trek, about halfway through, she meets him. And he rushes on to Grandma's house and gobbles her up. Then sits there, waits for the sun to show up. And then the sun shows. This Little Red Riding Hood. Waiting for her, gobbles her up too. This is winter, taking all of its light. And they all hang out in the bed together underneath the covers of snow. And then they're all in there together. And then they finally get up here. So this is mother and a father and the son inside and what happens is a hunter comes walking by one day, thought something was odd, and goes in and finds the situation, splits the thing open, and lets out Grandma and Little Red Riding Hood. And the story's over. That's the end of it. But it's really about going from this side through the night, through the forest, over here to this other side. That is an allegory. That's what an allegory sounds like. It sounds like it's a child's story on the outside or some kind of weirdness in it, but it has science on its inside. All right, so I just thought I'd share that with you, and I want to break you in slowly, but it's just so beautiful. It really is. All right. I'm trying to help you develop an ear for things. I'll see you later.